Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead from June 3rd to June 7th. And if you're new to my channel and a new subscriber, we're going to, on this video, talk about the markets. We're going to go through some of the things we have to watch for the week ahead. Later on today, Sunday, I'm doing this video. We'll come out with a stocks to watch video. And so there'll be two videos today for this Sunday. All right. So this is the Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead video. And we'll start with the ugly Friday, right? So Friday, a lot of selling going on in the markets. You see Google was down, the FANG names were down, Facebook down 3%, Amazon down over 2%. Even the mighty Microsoft got hit on Friday, down almost 2% on the day. The Dow Jones itself for the day was down 355 points on Friday. The transports were down 188, Nasdaq down 115, and the S&P 500 that dropped 37 points on Friday. So the stock markets put in the worst May in 7 years. So market is still not significantly oversold yet. We did have a tariffs talk for Mexico that drove the markets down on Friday. Tariffs on Mexico are based on immigration. So President Trump coming out with that. And so it gave us an ugly Friday, and as you can see, a lot of stocks took a hit. Of course, utilities moved up. I'll show you the TLT. So let's get this FinViz out of the way, and I'll show you the markets. We'll go through some of the sectors. I just want to show you this 5-minute regular market hours chart of the SPY. And note, I have on here the 200 EMA and 200 SMA. So Monday, the markets, I'm not sorry, the markets were closed on Monday, but Tuesday, when the markets opened up, they popped up a little bit. We broke down below the 200 EMA, SMA. Once again, this is a regular market hours chart. On the SPY, and then after that we kind of chopped around between the two, the EMA and the SMA being the solid green line here, and the EMA being the dotted 200 EMA. And so we came up, we bounced up again to that, but then once we got away from it and we broke down through the 200 SMA, we just stayed below it for the rest of the week. And as you can see, here's the action in Friday. From Friday, they tried to bounce us and hold this 275 spot on the SPY. They did it a couple of times, but then threatening to break it down into the close for the SPY. So not great action for the bulls. And I run a swing trade service, and we for the month of May was very choppy, very tough for the month of May. Day trading though was spectacular. We do day trading and swing trading at Zozo Stockwatch, and day trading, I have to say, was one of the best months for May that I've ever had. And but swing trading was absolutely terrible and choppy. So as you can see on the SPY daily here, we rolled over. We broke down through all the moving averages here. We broke down through the 200. Now we do have, not a lot of folks use this 150 SMA, but we are coming up to the 150 SMA, the dotted orange line here. That's at 271.21. So as far as moving averages, that's kind of the last little bastion of hope here for the bulls. Then after that, if you take the highs, however you do it mathematically, if you go from here to the top and you divide by 2, quick Fibonacci, 50% retracement rate, you come around this 270 area. If you go from the lows placed in December up to the highs, it comes around this 270 spot. Now, if you go here from the lows in on January 3rd of 2019, you're looking at around 264.50. So if this 150 breaks this 275 spot, we could see 270. That'll be an important spot because that's where we kind of had resistance before, and then we broke above it. Then we came back, we kind of checked back to it, and then it was kind of off to the races. So a lot of folks are going to be watching this 2700 area. Then after that, if like I said, if you go from here, the January lows. After that, you have 264.50. So I hope I'm explaining that okay as far as those mathematical 50.50 retracements for the SPY. So we'll see. All right. On that, if pretty much all the markets did the same thing. The Qs are hanging on to the 200 SMA here, but I believe the Nasdaq is below the 200 SMA here on the daily chart and coming back down to that 7,400 spot on the NASDAQ. Let's go ahead and look at some sectors. Oil just got trounced, right? Fear of economic slowdown here. So the USO took a big hit. The light sweet crude oil, if we look at it on a weekly chart, and we've been talking about as I did these videos, how important that $60 area was. When we breached that, the selling just kept moving down. Now on the weekly chart for oil, we are coming up to the 200 SMA. The 200 SMA for oil is at right now 52.59. So that'll be a line in the sand for oil bulls to watch. Other than that, I mean, if the economy is going to slow down, the tariff wars are going to continue. It could get real ugly for oil. We could penetrate 50 and head back down to that 45 level. We'll have to see. As far as the marijuana ETF, that took a hit this week, down 7% for the week on that. The OIH continues to move down. OIH coming down to a spot where it was back in, let's see, this was in December the 28th, 2018, and the low here was $13.13. So we're actually below that right now on the OIH. So, tough sledding there for names like Schlumberger, Halliburton, and Rig, and so forth. Let's see, to the upside, well, actually, let's look further at the IWM. So the IWM on the weekly chart now, we're coming up to the 150 SMA here. We'll see if they want to hold this 145 area. If we look at it on the daily chart right now, it's just in this rollover mode. Everybody was anticipating a nice strong move here, and then this is where it got ugly with China and the tariff news between Trump and Xi, the leader of China, and so the IWM broke the 50 and has been heading down. Everybody watching this 145 spot at the moment on the IWM. So very ugly action out here. Very tough, like I said, for swing traders. To the upside this week. The VIX gained some momentum, but the VIX is, we'll look at it on the weekly chart. By the way, all the blue charts are weekly charts, black are the daily charts. We did pop up. Let's see, we had a high for this week up to 1972, still below that 20 spot. If we start breaching above the 20 spot or get up to this above this recent high back here back in May 10th, we had the 23 handle on the VIX. So we're watching for that, but markets losing a little bit of that complacency, but still under that 20 spot on the VIX. The gold stocks were popping a little bit on Friday. JNUG, Nougat was moving up. GLD was moving up on Friday as maybe a little bit of a flight to safety in some of the gold names. TLT continues to push higher here. Look at this week in TLT. Now, the relationship here is as the TLT moves down, I'm sorry, as the TLT moves up, sorry, as the TLT moves up, bond yields move down. All right, so you have this kind of almost a parabolic move here. And so what that's telling us is that there's a fear of that interest rates might get lowered or an economic slowdown is coming. Now, everybody should, remember when we had fears of the economy slowing down, that was in December, right? And look at all this acceleration to the downside. We haven't seen that yet. All right, but if we start breaking this 275 and then that 270 area, we could start seeing that acceleration pick up. And so that's what we're watching for also. The acceleration, more volume coming in as we're moving down. So we've yet to see that, the big volume come in on the SPY here. We've kind of remained below my moving average here on the volume. All right, for the SPY, Friday was 86 million. But if you notice back here, look at this volume that was coming in on the SPY back in December. That was real accelerated selling. Right now, it's just been a gradual move down. So like I said, the TLT was up. The rare earths, we've been talking about them on this video for the last week or so, between China using rare earths as a weapon. So you see it's kind of holding up here. We had a 3% move on Friday for the rare earths, REMX. You might want to look into that. And let's see, we had the solars up for the week, a tad. FXI itself, the 25 index for China, that was actually up 1% for the week. KWEB continued to move down fractionally, and then the semis, they still remain below the 200 SMA here, and they're trying to hold this 97.50 area on the SMH. Let's go ahead and look at it on the weekly chart, see if we can pick anything up here. So basically, when we broke that $100 and the 100 SMA, right now, it looks to me, the number that stands out right now, 97.50, and then probably that 95 spot for the semi. So that's some of the performance. And then if we go ahead and look at some of the sector performance for the week, to the upside, obviously not much there at all. And then to the downside, we had the XOP, the oil and exploration, that was down almost 6% for the week. The XLE, the energy sector, got hit 5% for the week. The metals and mining got hit for 5%, and the XBI also getting hit for 4% this week. So we're seeing articles like this over the weekend. Traders brace for new Cold War that will last our careers. This being put out by Bloomberg over the weekend. So a lot of trade tariff headlines. So we'll see how the market's going to do Monday. China to lay out trade talk position on Sunday in Beijing. I haven't seen anything out after this yet. This came out on June 1st, but they're supposed to, I guess, make comments about the trade war and the tariffs as they start to kick in on China. For the economic information this week, this is courtesy of investing.com. So we have the trade war fallout that we'll have to keep an eye on. U.S. non-farm payrolls will be coming up this week. Draghi to give a boost to the economy. So if you want to read this, I'll put this article down in the comments section on this video. Trump's state visit to the United Kingdom is coming up this week, and the Reserve Bank of Australia there to cut rates. So greed index, we're currently at 24. Now in December, I remember this thing was down around 7. All right, so yes, we are a bit oversold short term, but we could get more selling to come into the markets. We're not at a super extreme fear yet. Like I said, back in December, January, we're down with a 7 handle on the fear and greed index from CNN Business. As far as the economic calendar for the week ahead, courtesy of the Trade Exchange, I'll put this calendar also down in the comments for you. So if you click on where it's this green, it gives you the earnings coming up for the week ahead. It's a real nifty calendar that they put out from the trade exchange. So we do get Fed speak coming up for the week ahead, and we get the oil numbers back to their normal spot on Wednesday at 10:30. There's no holiday this week. We get the Fed beige book coming out 2 o'clock on Wednesday. That could be market moving. And then let's see if we have anything else. Employment report, since it's the new month, that'll be coming out Friday at 8:30. As far as earnings themselves, some of the bigger companies, this courtesy of the Earnings Whisper, you have Box, you have application software stock. Copa, COUP is the symbol there. Tiffany's reporting Tuesday before the bell. You have Salesforce after the bell on Tuesday. Guidewire, Pivotal will be reporting also on after the close on Tuesday. We also get Health Equity. I believe the symbol for Health Equity is HQY. American Eagle Outfitters, AEO symbol there. SecureWorks will be reporting before the open on Wednesday. Check the symbol for that one. After the close, we have Cloudera, which has been getting hit. MongoDB will be reporting over in the software space. Five Below for the retailers, FIVE. Smartsheet, SMAR, I believe is the symbol on that one, SMAR. So that will be reporting Wednesday after the bell. Then we get Sienna Thursday before the bell. We get DocuSign, DOCU, Zoom, the recent IPO ZM symbol there. Beyond Meat will be reporting Thursday after the close, BYND. Ollie's, OLLI, and Domo will be reporting after the close on Thursday. Friday, no major earnings Friday. The markets are open, but there's just no major earnings as we are going into the summertime. Let's go ahead and we're going to go through some of the best stocks and worst stocks that passed for the week ahead. We'll go ahead and start with some of the worst stocks first. ZFGN will lead us off. So ZFGN was down over 31% this week. In discussions with the FDA on clinical hold on one of their diabetes drugs. So ZFGN has a clinical hold going on. So this stock took a big hit this week on that name. XBIT, they decided to do an offering. So this stock dropped 20%. MYOV, although it bounced a little bit on Friday, for the week, this stock was down 21% as they decided to do an offering on MYOV. Goose had earnings come out. This is a Canadian company. They make those winter coats. So this stock dropped 30% on their earnings, a big drop there. ANF had earnings this week. This stock dropped 30% for the week. PVH also dropping. They supply a lot of the retailers of apparel manufacturing. This stock dropping 20%. So the tariffs also are really hitting the retail space and suppliers to retail. NTNX over in the software infrastructure space, they came out with earnings. This stock dropped 20% for the week. CONN, another retailer, this stock dropped 20% for the week on their earnings report. CPRI, which used to be the old Michael Kors, dropped 17% for the week on this name after their earnings came out. GPS, Old Navy, and those type of stores, this stock dropping 13% after their earnings report. NIO took another hit. This is supposed to be the Tesla of China, dropping 21% for the week there on that name. Teva continues to get hit. I believe Warren Buffett is still in this name, stock dropping 20% for the week. TEUM dropped 17% for the week. Riot, even though Bitcoin moved up, the crypto stocks themselves just could not get going. Riot was down 16%. I believe Mara was also, Mara, another crypto stock, was down 8% for the week. We had ZUO, Zora. This stock, after their earnings report came out, this stock dropped 34% for the week. INO took a hit this week, a stock dropping 27% for the week. Dell came out with earnings this week. Stock dropped 10% for the week. TPTX, this stock dropping 15% for the week. The steel names took a hit this week, down 13%. AKS, also in the steel space, down 14%. And then lastly, for the worst stocks for the week, this stock down 7%. STLD, they do rolled steel, Steel Dynamics. That one was also down. And I guess if you want to take a look at Nucor, this stock also dropping in the steel space 6%. So that's some of your worst stocks for the week. Some of your best stocks for the week. We'll start out with Cara. This stock jumping 14% for the week. It met primary endpoints in its phase 3. Taka also moving up this week. Now, it had gotten slammed down. Stock jumped 11% this week on Taka. They got a buy rating from Citigroup. Price target 24 on this name, biotech name. Here's the daily on it, trying to turn the corner on Taka. Anyway, but for the week, this one was up 11% for the week, TOCA. GNCA, let's see, they had a press release on ASCO presentation for GNCA. This stock climbed 32% for this week. Recently did a 1-for-8 reverse split on GNCA. DMPI also popping this week, up 119% on DMPI. Rose on the data in its SEC filing from its ongoing first line trial. So DMPI with some news in there. SEC filing. This also did a 1-for-10 reverse split recently, so a big jump there on that name solely. Unbelievable. We traded this a few times in the service at Zozo StockWatch. Stock jumped over 228% for the week on SOLY. They had news earlier in the week that got that one going. Beyond Meat also, recent IPO climbing 31% on this name. Very good IPO there. We had SEAS. They had earnings come out this week, up 17%. Plan had earnings come out over in the software space, up 17% for the week. HEI climbing this week, up 17% on this name. JMIA, a recent IPO, trying to recover here a little bit, up 14%. Citron going after this name with shorts, but climbing back, battling back 14% for the week on JMIA. They're kind of the Amazon of Africa on that one. RWLK was moving up this week, up 20% for the week on that name. WSM, Williams Sonoma, came out with earnings. This stock climbing 12% for the week here on that name. LK, the Starbucks of China, was getting smashed. What a pop, what a reversal in LK, jumping 31%. This week. We had spoken about this one on previous videos, talked about it over the 1635 spot, and this thing just took off for the races here, up $20 on LK. So nice recovery there in that name. ELTK had a very good week. We traded this in the service, also up 339% on ELTK this week. GTXI starting to move up 18% for the week on GTXI. TCCO, this stock climbing this week, up 31% on this communications company, TCCO, maybe one to keep an eye on. Over 1 million shares came into it this week, so up 31%. OPTT moving up this week, up 12%, trying to come up off the bottom. They did a reverse split, 1-for-20 recently, but for this week it was up 12%. And then some of the gold names were moving up. Gold moving up Friday. So for the week, I'll just look at one. SBGL was climbing up 19%, but NEM was also up. AUY also jumping this week. WPM in the silver space was moving up 9% this week. SSRM, the mining company, silver-based, up 6% for the week. So that's some of your best stocks for the week. By the way, some couple of news headlines here. HEB, they're going to be doing a 1 for 44 reverse split effective June 10th. CTRV doing a 1 for 70 reverse split. This will take effect on June 3rd. And CYTR is getting delisted off the NASDAQ, going to the OTCs on CYTR. After the bell on Friday, this courtesy of the trade exchange. On Friday, EMES was halted, news pending. New York Stock Exchange to suspend trading immediately in EMES, so that one going to get delisted. HK also on the NYSE. They're going to get their trading suspended, delisted there on HK. There's that HEB news, a 1 for 44 split on that one. We had MBRX was moving up in the after hours on Friday. MBRX, after filing their presentation, MBRX. So let me go to my pre-post market. Okay, so MBRX was climbing in the after hours on Friday. Gave back a little bit, but they had some news come out Friday after the bell. Over the weekend, we had MGM and some of the casino names. Macau casino revenue hits a 5-month high in May, so the gamblers are out there. And then here's that news: China to present position on U.S. trade this Sunday. I'm doing this video on Sunday. FedEx, China to investigate whether FedEx harmed client interests. So China kind of going after FedEx here. There's your notice on HK. Donald Trump out making some comments over the weekend. I'll just scroll through these slowly. If you want to read those, you can. I'll just scroll and you stop, pause the video here as I'm scrolling through. mRNA, ASCO is going on this weekend. So mRNA at the ASCO annual meeting, they did their presentation, might be a mover on Monday. CLVS also at ASCO. MRSN also presenting at ASCO there. BLCM. So these are some of your stocks that are presenting at ASCO. Let's see, some more press releases this week. VCYT announces new data showing potential to test to guide targeted treatment in, thyroid cancer here on VCYT. DVAX having some phase 2 data news come out. Once again, all this news courtesy of the trade exchange. A busy news weekend because of the ASCO annual meeting that's going on. You see ATRA, MEIP, NKTR, so all this coming out from ASCO. LGCY, they reaches forbearance agreement with RBL and second lien lenders. All right, so LGCY having some news come out over the weekend. Press releases further this weekend. CLDXO, very busy weekend for biotech news. Here's AIMT, demonstrates consistency, safe efficacy of children and adolescents with peanut allergy. AIMT, so that one could be moving up. So MYGN also had news. SPPI also had news at the ASCO meeting. Some of your top insider purchases that came out after the bell on Friday. So a lot of news here. Once again, courtesy of the trade exchange, a real good news service. The trade exchange. All right, so this is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com. I know this video is long, but I wanted to get you up to date on all the news. I'll be back later with a stocks to watch video. Gonna have my work cut out for me with all these biotechs and the ASCO meeting. I'll have to take a look at a lot of charts. But be back later with a video on stocks to watch.